I live on an estate facing demolition, and I'm here to support Social Housing Action Campaign. In here, in this building, there's the financial meeting of the social housing sector, and it's appalling. Their finance comes from our rent, grants from government, housing benefit, it all comes from our money, yet they're celebrating it like they've earned it, and they're not taking care of people's homes. There's so much disrepair and there's so much disrespect. They almost despise their tenants, and all they're interested in is the business model, how to make more money.
How is housing, which is a basic necessity, how is it right that it is controlled by a small cabal of developers and housing associations who are also developers, without any real regulation? The fact is that these housing associations are not housing associations anymore, they're property developers. Because if they were, then they would be building homes for social rent, not for shared ownership and not for selling on. Almost all of them have charitable status. So they're not only selling properties for gain, for profit, although they don't use the term profit, they use surplus. The fact is that their profits are being shielded from tax.
These organisations, they are classed as charities. From the outside perspective, they run as charities, but actually when you're at the receiving end of their services, it does not feel like a charity is providing it. It very much feels like a for-profit corporate business that's very difficult to rise up against, very difficult to complain, very difficult to get answers out of them, and they just stonewall at every opportunity.
They're happy for us to have a residents' association as long as we adopt their constitution. Well, if it's our residents' association, it's down to us what we have in our constitution. It's got nothing to do with them. But then if you don't adopt their constitution, they won't recognise you.
We've had leaks, we've had mould, there have been mushrooms the size of a fist growing out of the wall and falling on the floor. All the wallpaper's peeled off, the floors are broken.
And as a consequence of the broken communal door, we now have an antisocial behaviour issue on top of the broken door.
Basically, this is what I've suffered. Antisocial behaviour, disrepair.
Been waiting 9 years for them to come and do the outside of the building, the maintenance, the windows, the window frames, staircases, that sort of thing. And they just haven't come.
Although the rents were capped at 1% or even actually reduced by 1% in a couple of years, the fact is that service charges are not capped, so housing associations can do what they like. In our own case, when our housing association merged to form Optivo Housing, our electricity bill went up by £40,000 in a year. Our staff costs went up by £60,000, but the building didn't get any bigger.
We're trapped in a shared ownership where there's only 17 leaseholders and 53 rented, and the service charges are abusive. They went up to £725 a month. That's even if you've got 75% ownership, you then have to pay that on top.
We've so far had over £300,000 of service charges refunded to us because of overcharges.
If it wasn't for SHAC,
we feel completely isolated with a huge organisation like Home Group, who are bullying and harassing me to shut me up at the moment. So, which I'm not going to do, because at the end of the day, we are paying for things that we're not receiving. The standards are absolutely shocking.
The SHAC has really galvanised us, actually, because for the first time we feel some kind of hope. Nobody at Peabody has listened. We've been to the Ombudsman 3 times. We've written to the MP. Nothing's happened. So actually meeting people with similar experiences is helpful, and just joining together to try and get our voices heard.
And the work that SHAC have done to bring people together, to share our experiences, to feel listened to feel part of a group of people, and to be able to take some actions, and to be able to be empowered to know what actions to take, and have some small victories along the way, just spurs you on.